Hey guys, today's December 27th. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I wanted to do a lecture on some problems that many of you guys I'm sure have, which is connecting with people. Because a lot of students, as they begin to go on their self-improvement journey, they start to become all about the gym, all about silence. They don't listen to music. They don't scroll social media. And a lot of people start to feel like, all my friends, I don't really understand them anymore. The things they talk about, I don't understand. I have one student who had two girls over, family friends of his parents, and they came over and he's like, I have nothing in common with these girls at all. I have no idea what it's like to live their life. And he was mentioning how he would like to be able to enjoy the conversations. He would like to be able to enjoy their company. He feels separated. He feels like he's a grandpa at a very, very young age. And I think that this student comes to the issue is facing a problem where he assumes he needs to understand something to enjoy it. And in fact, he's the exact opposite of me, in my belief. I really think if I perfectly understand something, it's a lot less unique to speak to, right? I like speaking to a bunch of different people because a bunch of different people have completely different life paths. They have completely different opinions. There's many things similar to normal humans, but that's not the stuff I'm interested in, right? If I talk to an Uber driver who's from, Lebanon, I've got no idea what it's like to live in Lebanon. I've got no idea what it's like to be in Lebanon. I can only know a bit just based on the news. Well, this person could tell me all about Lebanon. It's the same with women, guys. I want you to understand, personally, I really believe you're never going to have any understanding of what it's like to be a woman. You're never going to have any idea. They're very, very different lives. They have very, very different experiences. People look at men and women differently. Therefore, everyone in their life has always treated them in a way that you wouldn't even understand because you've never been treated that way ever, right? Men and women are different. And I don't think you need to feel similar to ever even really be able to enjoy their company. I don't even think you need to be similar to people to be able to even connect. I truly believe, I want you guys to imagine, right? For any of you guys who have had pets, do you have any idea what it's like to be a dog? Like, I know you see them and you're around dogs all the time, but I'm saying, do you know what it's like to be a dog? Do you have any idea what he's thinking? Not really. You've got no clue. But does that mean you can't love your dog? Does that mean you can't love being around your dog all the time? Does that mean you can't enjoy its company? No. Right? Guys, the dissimilarities of people is actually what makes them interesting. That's actually what makes them someone that they're awesome to be around. And in fact, this student's grandpa qualities, I can guarantee you that makes him somewhat interesting to other people. I remember when I was going through college, people were like, oh, well, Luke, you're a math nerd, but you also box all the time. And also you work all the time. I was weird. I was a weird guy. I didn't scroll social media back then. I wasn't a TV guy. I wasn't a video game guy. I was the guy who did math all the time, boxed all the time, took school very seriously, and worked all the time. That's who I was. That was my character. And when I met other people, I met some party animals. I wasn't feeling like, I can't relate to this guy because he doesn't care about math, he doesn't care about sport, and he's not taking his life seriously. It's not that I couldn't relate to them. I mean, I couldn't relate to them, but it's not that I didn't like them. It's not that I didn't have unique conversations with them. In fact, I'd argue that those people were some of the most unique conversations. Because I'm looking at someone completely different than me, and he's looking at someone completely different than him. We're both dudes. We both know we're nice people. We're nice to each other. We both know we've got each other's backs. But outside of that, we're completely different. Guys, that's the beauty of relationships. And this is why it's such an important skill to develop, that you're able to enjoy and connect with people who you don't know anything about their life. I want you guys to really understand that is a skill in of itself. You guys need to learn to be able to be a part of a conversation despite having nothing in common with those people and knowing nothing about what they're talking about. And the reason I think most people fail with this is I think most people who join a conversation, they think that they need to add some input into the conversation. I think there's this mistaken idea that, if there's a group of people talking about plants, well, you have to go in there and you have to start talking about plants. You have to say this about the corn. You have to say this about the flowers. But truthfully, guys, here's a cheat code for all of you. You can join any conversation as a student and the teachers will love you. If there's a group of people who all of them are speaking about farming and you know nothing about farming, I do want you guys to understand you guys can go in, insert yourself in the conversation, insert yourself in the circle, listen to them, and you'll be surprised how much they'll enjoy if you ask a very good question. If you ask, I don't know, they're talking about genetically modifying corn, and you ask, wait, so do they actually change the genes of the corn, or is it like natural selection? Guys, no one's going to hate you. If you ask a smart, good question, no one's going to make fun of you. No one's going to think lesser of you. Farming experts don't expect random people to know about farm. But you know what farming experts probably love? When people ask them about farming, when people ask them good, smart questions. If you guys are ever around people who you have nothing in common with, just try to understand them. That's actually the beauty. That's actually the way that conversation becomes very, very easy. Party man, when I spoke to him, is like, so what do you do? That's what you do all day. How do you get your schoolwork done? How do you do this? What's your plan for the future, right? And not mean questions. I'm not saying to try and make them feel like their path is worse than your path, but I mean generally trying to understand them, trying to understand their daily life. Like, okay, so wait, so how do you do this? How do you do this, party men? That is a key skill that all of you guys are going to need to develop. It's not optional. Otherwise, you're going to feel like this student who says that he felt like he was a grandpa. He's around these two girls who he has nothing in common with. And truthfully, guys, I actually believe that you will never understand women. You'll never understand them. So this skill is important if you ever even want to get a wife, if you ever want to get married. You'll try to understand them over time. But I'm saying in the beginning, you got no clue what they're like, and you don't need to. You don't need to be similar to people to have a relationship with them. You don't need to be similar to people to be able to have a conversation with them. That is not a requirement at all. So guys, all of you guys, if you're listening to this, you're trying to become a special person. If you're trying to be rich, you're trying to be special. Because sorry to break it to all of you guys, but you can't stay average and be rich. It won't work. So you're going to have to become a special person. And when you're a special person, when you're an exceptional person, that means you're going to not have a lot in common with the average people you walk day to day with. And I'm going to let you guys into some news flash. Rich people don't have much in common with each other either, because they got rich completely differently. Their path to riches was completely unique. There's some similarities, obviously. There's some similarities between all businessmen. But at the end of the day, their exact business, their exact path there, the experiences they had on the way up, there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of dissimilarities. The ability to be able to communicate and form relationships with people you're dissimilar to is extremely key. It's extremely valuable, and especially for all of you who are trying to become exceptional. So learn this skill, and I'm telling you guys now, the cheat code is just to ask good, smart questions. That's it. Don't try to be Mr. Know-It-All. You guys need to be very, very good at going into a conversation as, I'm the dummy. I'm the dumbest man in this room. Please educate me. Here's a question I have. You'll be surprised, guys. That's always, always very well taken into. And like for all you young guys, for girls, if there's a group of girls around and you hear the conversation and it's some garbage about TikTok, ask a question about it. Who's that? And they'll be interested in you because you're so different than them. They'll be like, wait, how does he not know who Hip Hop Barbie is? How does he not know? And they'll ask you back, how do you not know who Hip Hop Barbie is? And you'd be like, oh, well, I don't scroll TikTok. And they're like, wait, why don't you scroll TikTok? Every kid scrolls TikTok. I'm telling you guys, the grandpa card is not a weak card. It's not a bad thing. It's not, oh, no, look at me, I'm a weird. No, people love dissimilar people. Dissimilar people, anyone with any amount of intelligence understands that the most interesting people are the people who they're nothing alike. And if you're trying to really become a special person, if you're genuinely work, school, this, fully productive all the time, I'm telling you guys from my experience, I've always been an interesting person. People are always curious about how I lived life. The same way I was curious how they live theirs. So hopefully this lecture makes sense. Hopefully this helps, because all of you guys, if you're trying to become rich, you're going to be a unique person. So you need to learn how to play that card right, and you need to learn how to keep up relationships and keep being able to talk and connect with people despite having nothing in common with them. Extremely important skill, and it just starts with going in as the student, ask questions, and you'll be surprised when they ask you questions back. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this helps.